And we are live. This is going to be a very, very, very quick live stream that I'm doing. I have a lot going on right now. I am in the process of moving and closing and just lots of stuff. And in the meantime, I am watching all of this unfold in the true crime community. I have been watching live the sad case of Heidi Broussard and her baby Margot that happened to just get some information on where Heidi has been found, unfortunately, not alive. Her baby Margot has been found alive. It looks like her where they had thought that it was her, or people had thought, speculated that it was her boyfriend of 10 years, the baby's father, Shane, who did it, which I have been very outspoken, not that it matters in other communities, that my gut feeling and this feeling that I have on the inside is that he was just awkward in his interview, and it was very truthful. I have so much to say. I know you guys do too. I want to open up this for comments. It's frustrating because, in my opinion, they just completely still right now want to bring in Christopher Watts in this. I see people who blamed Shane for this and just totally crucified him, saying that he was guilty, now coming forward and finding a way to blame Chris Watts for this, saying that the reason that they did this was Chris Watts. No, take blame on yourself that you jumped to this conclusion, because just because somebody acts a certain way, you can feel a little certain, you can feel a little queasy about something, but to publicly just do this public lynching, even on his Facebook page, is, I just believe, so irresponsible. This is real life. That's to be talked about at another time. I want to talk about some full of yourself YouTubers. I do happen to still occasionally, just for a little bit of, I like to hear somebody who is so full of themselves just wax poetically more about themselves, So I like to watch Critical K sometimes because she just does this. In another video, I will bring up the message that she sent me over on Facebook, which is hilarious because she's got the thinnest skin in the world. Nobody can say anything about her. It's funny because she happens to be a good writer. I'm a good writer. I know many good writers. I will put my writing up against hers any day, as well as many other people that I know who happen to be very good writers. Okay. But I'm not going to go on and just spew my praises like she does left and right. Like, I just listened to her now and it was hilarious. I don't know if it's because she's tipsy. She's usually tipsy every night. She's tipsy. That's fine. It's her gig. But, to me, it just screams lowered self-esteem. If you have to just say how good you are every 5 minutes, it's because you just really don't believe that. But she was saying she doesn't belong to groups. She makes groups. She doesn't belong to groups. She makes groups. I always liken that to where if you're a really gorgeous person, I always say Cindy Crawford because I'm old school days, right? You don't see Cindy Crawford walking around going, I'm a model, I'm just beautiful. If you are, it speaks for yourself. So if you are a leader who makes groups, it speaks for itself. You don't have to go around trying to shove that thought down everyone's throat. Right now, it's so apparent that she is so jealous of her ex-friend, J is for Justice. Now, I like J is for Justice. I watched yesterday as this live unfolds, and there was 2,500 people in her chat at the time. And I could see that the commentators in true crime were going to get all jealous, and left and right, the screens started popping up. Now, I got to give it to Jay. Jay did not push her Patreon during this whole thing. Jay did not push to super chat her. Jay did not push to subscribe to her, to share it, like every other single thirsty one would have. She didn't. I also could not see any of the other people who wanted to interview this friend of Heidi's. That's what it was about. Heidi's friend was in this live stream, and as it was going on, real life, the breaking news came about that they had been not to my liking, but they had been speculating way too much that it was Shane, and it was pretty much a bashing of the boyfriend. I didn't like that at all. I didn't like when anybody did that because I guess because I just didn't think that he was guilty, and nor did I like that it was just this jumping to conclusion. But you know what? It was like I didn't suspect this at all happening. It was like you go over in your head, what else could it actually be? And all signs pointed back to him. But I'll tell you about this some other day, guys, but there's this thing that I have developed. No, don't laugh at me. I'll just tell you about it some other time. It's something about, I just saw in him telling the truth. It spoke like the truth, although much of it didn't make sense. Anyways, we'll get on that in a different video, but let's get back to this. So as Jay is for Justice and her two other friends that were in there, they did a really good job. They were not hogging the mic. They muted it at appropriate times. They didn't take advantage of her. They asked her very appropriate questions. Absolutely, bar none, nobody else would have done as classy of a job as Jay did. And this is not kissing her ass, because I kind of think that she doesn't like me. I know she doesn't say hi. She doesn't have to know me, but I just kind of think she doesn't like me. But I like her, and I think that she did a really good job. And I think she's fair, and she is what she says she is, and she's not about the money. She didn't push anything else. She was very appropriate, very respectful. So it all unfolded then, and it came where her friend was on there, and her friend who spoke to this woman who ended up being the one that it looks like faked her pregnancy, and it looks like may have had her part in the unfortunate demise of Heidi and the taking of the baby. She had been speaking to her. They had all been friends for 24 years. Now, she hadn't spoken much to this other woman. I believe her name is Megan. Hadn't spoken to her much, but since this has happened, Megan has reached out to her and have spoke to her. In fact, the friend has heard the baby in the background, but the friend supposedly was pregnant at the same time that this Heidi was. Long story with this. If anybody wants to put any links in the comment section, please feel free. I do have a lot of my comments on approve. I'll just go through and approve you if you want to put a link there to some better videos on it or some news coverage on it. But it all unfolded to where they had the house surrounded, and I believe it was Houston, live as Jay was on, live. And they figured out before any news organization did that it was the house that belonged to this Megan. And the reaction from Heidi's friend, I think because I was there and a lot of people was there. There were, at that time, there was a couple thousand people there. I know that we probably all had that same hair raised in the back of your neck. Oh my gosh, this is so surreal. This is not happening. And Jay, and I'm sorry, I don't remember the name of her friends, who one of them really actually brought the interview to her. I don't remember their names. They handled it really, really well. No kissing ass. They really, really did. Anyways, okay, so that one happened the whole time. But now we got right now, excuse me, this Miss Critical K, Miss Butthurt K, Miss Ambulance Chaser. I mean, she's an ambulance chaser. I call her, like, what is her name? The Gloria Allred of the true crime community, because if there's a crime out there, you can bet this thirsty woman is going to be running around and reaching the same way that she did with the Chris Watts story. And she, what she did to that poor family. She can say that she was the one that tried to save them. She tried to clear up with her, Critical K, cleaning up somebody's act, how you look online to people. she did them completely a disservice. And I'm sure she's not going to agree with that at all. You're just not a likable person, Kay, which is sad, is because you really do give a good interview. When I heard you with, again, now your friend who's not your friend because you can't get anything out of her anymore after what is her name? Sherilyn Cadle kind of figured you out and kind of threw you under the bus. Now you're bashing on her, but even she knew exactly kind of like what you're about. Now you were about all thirsty over on Shane's page trying to get him to get a hold of you. Girl, you go for your thing, right? I mean, I know that everybody over there is just thirsty for the news story, but you can do it the right way. The way that, say, J is for Justice, Jennifer is doing it right now, because she doesn't look thirsty like you. She is equally as smart as you. She equally does as good of an interview as you. She's equally as well-spoken as you are, but she's likable. She's likable. She shows respect, and she's not full of herself. If that would have been you and you had her on, you would have been demanding of your wrenches to be handing out your Patreon. You would have been demanding of your wrenches to be handing out your PayPal to keep it going, just like you did before. Remember when you leaked your poor friend Sherilyn Cadle's book that happens to now, which is really even more karma and really even more funny? It happens to be plagiarized. I have these messages that I have from Sherilyn Cadle that I'll share with you guys in another video if you'd like to see them. How she came to me and she was threatening me because I gave an opinion about something. I thought it was funny. She was threatening about getting a lawyer because I had an opinion on what she did. Getting a lawyer to come after me for what? For giving a critical opinion about a book that I bought that you not only plagiarized, you lied to the family, but you completely also just took it all off of Discovery. And it was full of even spelling of the names wrong. If there's not a worst book in history, I don't know what it is. And now karma is coming down. But let's get back to Critical K, who really thinks that she's this, Game of Thrones Queen's. I didn't even watch it, but I hear her talked about all the time. She thinks she's the Queen Cersei or whatever her name is, because she's so, some of her little dialogues that she does, these self-promoting dialogues that she does in the beginning of the broadcast before she gets really half in the bag, that she spends all day writing and everything like that. She brings this up. And she's comparing herself to like the fall of Rome. And she's always quoting these, Queen Cersei, or she's quoting, just every big name in literature because she thinks that she's up there. She really thinks she does. Now she's taking all of this because people blamed Shane. And I think that it's wrong. I don't like that the public jumped on that either. But you're taking all of this credit, saying that you rose above everybody and you're so much better than everybody and you're the person who doesn't belong in the groups. You start the groups and you tried to save the Watts and you tried to save Sherilyn Cadle and you tried to save the world. But for some reason, it always gets messed up and they always want to bring you down. Do they want to bring you down off of drink number 4 or 5? Now, let's see how many emails or how many Miss Piggy comments that you'll have about me after this. Let's just see. Me, little old me, right? Little old me who, like you said, I was trying to ride on your coattails. I was trying to do all this. I was trying to, whatever else you said, you brought some help over there and put a meme of Miss Piggy because you had to go to. You couldn't say anything else, so you said I should go back to doing bad makeup and a little meme or gif or whatever it is kids call them these days of Miss Piggy, right? So that's where you go. I'm not sure if you do that when you're half in the bag or if you do that when you're completely sober. But as you can tell, as the night goes on, you get meaner and meaner and meaner and more belligerent to the people that are there, calling them, what do you call them, peasants? I really don't know what world you live in. It's really sad because I do think you have enough talent to hold on to a podcast. like many other people do. There are some people here, like Armchair Detective, who I think is very likable. I like the character. He would be fun to go out to a pub to in the UK. Although it's funny because I think it's funny. You'd think that the UK, he would know more about the American habits. Like he didn't even know that we celebrated Christmas too. I don't know. He's cute. He's cute. He's so likable, but he's so dangerous in his broadcasts. That's a whole other story. This one is focused on you, Miss Critical K, because right now you are on there and you have that poor Elizabeth girl who doesn't want to take your bait. She doesn't want to take your bait. You want her to say that you gave her her homework to watch this live broadcast. You know you were so jealous of Jay, weren't you, girl? Jay is likable. Jay is likable. This is, again, I don't know Jay. I just go in there. There's not everything that I agree on that she does, I at all. I just think that she's very much qualified. I think that she's heads and tails above you in class and every other aspect. And I love it right now that you are so thirsty. You are so butt hurt that she had that many people in her live stream. Get over yourself, girl, because you are not Queen Cersei. But there'll be more to follow on this, I'm sure, because I'm sure right now you're going to be doing all that you can to not talk about me because I'm mentioning it right now, right? So you won't do that, but you'll do whatever you can to try to bring everybody else and make them all look really bad. And you're the only one who knows it all. And, Queen K could really solve the whole world's problems if you just followed what she said. Anyways, guys, leave me a comment down below. Because I am so busy, I have so many more videos that I want to do on Chris Watts, just because I feel very compelled that, and this is not a popular opinion, and this is my opinion, that if not for the horrible act that he did, he is not like any other prisoner that have done these acts, that have been in these kind of crimes. I think there's such a learning lesson in that. I think that there's a lot to be said. I have heard somebody recently give their theory on what they think actually happened of the day of August 12th to the 13th, 2018. And it was funny because I kind of held that to myself because I have not heard anybody else say that. But this person, who's I think that she's very smart, said this, and it was very similar. So I want to come out with I'm going to be brave enough and say exactly what I think happened and why I think it's really a tragedy and why I think the system really let him down. And it's so hard to say because of what happened, but I truly believe that there is a God, the God of Israel. And I believe right now that his wife and his children are there. And I believe that they have their eyes opened up and they know the truth and they would be agreeing with that as well. And I do feel for the Watts family so completely because they continue to be bashed. And it's just not popular to say, but it's truly how I believe. And I'm saying this for myself. I have never talked to anybody anywhere, any place. I've gotten just, remarks privately here and under my comments of people who actually agree, who don't want to speak up. And it's not trying to be who's right or who's wrong. I just think this is a big, huge lesson. And I, as an American, am ashamed at how it went down in the Chris Watts story of the taking of his, the plea agreement and everything that happened. And it's so unique, the story. It's like no other story, which is why I became so compelled with just trying to understand it. And when in my head, I put the pieces together just for me, not that I'm right, just for me, perception is reality. For me, this makes all the pieces make sense. So I will be coming out with that video. I haven't filmed that one yet because I want to write it all down and have it not me be all over the place. Because right now with me moving and all of this kind of chaos, I'm moving to a whole different state. But as of the first of the year, and I will be doing another video. I'll be putting some videos out. I tried Vlogmas. What did I call it? Vlonuka, because I'm Jewish. I tried that with the best heart, the best intention. I did even film a few videos, but because my internet's so slow, and this is not an excuse, it's just a reason. It just was taking up everything of trying to upload them, and it got frustrating. So I kind of shelved everything. Now they're old, and I will start afresh, anew when I am in my new place. I have just a lot of good ideas, and I'm really, really, really excited about this. I hope you guys will join me on this journey. Correct me when I'm wrong. If I get a little bit too, bitchy, for lack of a better word, in my comments, I will apologize because I can get really passionate about how I feel. But I'm always willing to talk it out with anybody, and I'm always willing for an opposing view on anything. Unlike a lot of places like the Critical K channel, like Armchair Detective, you really can't go there. I'm blocked. You can't go there with an alternative view on those places. Armchair Detective, let me go back to that real quick. I do think he's a very likable lad. He's so likable. He appeals to the masses with these outlandish conspiracies, and he hangs his hat on the whole shadows thing. Although I know, I can't bet, the house on it, but I know I had heard that theory before, and I clearly saw shadows in it. So I don't know what everybody was saying that they didn't, but everything it is, he will throw out these theories now about cars and changing of the genes and just somebody else being there and everything. And he'll say, remember, I was right on the shadows, but he does have a lot of smart people working with him. That younger woman doctor, who sounds like Nicole Kessinger. She's very smart. I think he has a lot of people doing a lot of the work for him. But I just don't like it how irresponsible he has. He's got a lot of people following him now, and it just is, even right now, he's still on the Shane thing. He's still, his audience is still full of, I don't care if he's not guilty of this, he's guilty of something else, and he's another one that's kind of self-grandizing a lot, but he does it in such a lovable way that it's not as cringeworthy as when Kay does it. He just is, I don't know. You know what I mean? Give me your thoughts on that, guys. Give me who you like. Let me know some new places that you like to go. I did watch DWAP, Dad with a Phone. Like him. I don't know if I don't know. I think I don't know. The jury's still out on I like him. I like him, but there's some things that kind of rub me wrong too. Not being mean, okay? Just not to Plunder. I love watching her videos. Kimberly, who broke the whole plagiarism thing on Cadle, love her. She's hilarious, but they don't do lives. Who else do you guys watch, and who else do you like? Now it's a fun thing because I've always been into this. I just never thought there was a place on YouTube, and I'm no better or no worse than anybody else. However, I feel, and I'm really trying to be humble, that I have a good way of reading people, like a lot of people do. And it's not for anything else, but just when things make sense. And it is also this weird thing. And guys, I don't even, I got this Minnesota thing in me where I don't even want to say this because I don't want to feel crazy. But I have developed this thing in the past few years. You guys don't laugh, please, because I'm not like that. I don't believe that anybody else but the person guilty killed Kennedy. I don't believe in all these crazy Elvis is still alive. I don't believe aliens are abducting people left and right and doing, experiments on them. I'm not like that. I'm very much a tangible person. I have to see it to believe it. I'm just not like that. However, I have been having the ability. I've always seen people in colors, whether I like to or not. And it's gotten stronger and stronger as the years have gone by, their colors. And I always thought that was something that everybody kind of just did. And maybe they do. Maybe I'm explaining it in a different way, like the aura. But to me, the aura is colors. And to me, when there's something very strong and a person is trying to either lie or tell the truth, the person begins to, for lack of a better words, become so much brighter. Their color is brighter. Their color is brighter. And I see it really bright. And it has not done me wrong yet. And that's something that I don't know if I'm just in my head. This is me trying to rationalize things. Okay, guys? I don't know if it's because I just see it that way because everything is making sense and the pathway is clear and it's very organic and the pieces all come together. So it's appearing, it's making itself appear that way to me. That could be true more than just this kind of like mythical, magical, I'm, psychic and seeing colors. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. But maybe that's what psychics are all about. Maybe it's not as as magical or movie like we all kind of grow up thinking that we all really had the ability, but we explain it in different ways. A sixth sense, a mother's intuition, whatever it is. And maybe if you just I've always kind of likened it to kind of going through some really very traumatic events in my life that made me hone in on it more and not even realizing it. So maybe that's just opening up pathways. They say you only use a certain percentage of your brain. I do believe that maybe that is heaven. After you die, it's opened up. Maybe it's all there and we didn't know it the whole time. Maybe that is heaven. Deep conversation, but we'll get into that some other days, guys. Let me know below what you think about anything I just said. Let me know below who you watch as far as true crime communities. Let me know what stories you're following. Let me know what you thought about this whole Heidi Broussard story and if you thought it was Shane and anything else like that. But I will talk to you very soon, guys. If you have your family and your friends around, love them. If you have kids, love them. If you have a spouse that loves you and is there for you, be there for them. And if be there for them in the hard times too. And it's not greener on the other side. And if you have someone willing to work it out with you, work it out with them. Because to have somebody to grow old with and really have your back is priceless. Spoken from me, who has been very heartbroken in the past couple of years. And a lot of you guys know about that. Anyways, love you guys. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. And I will talk to you very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.